Mr. Ed here. Today is July 22nd, that's what it is, 2019. I'm in the back of the honey hut today, and today is just like a very unusual day. We got a cool front that came down. I didn't say cold, it's cool front. Our humidity dropped way down. The temperature right now is only about 74 degrees, which is so uncommon for us here in Louisiana. So I decided this morning, instead of working in the caskets, and I got a lot of work to do over there, I said I'm going to do this job that I've been putting off for almost a week now because it's too hot. And what's the job? Taking our boxes that we spun our honey with and cleaning them out, getting them prepped up so that I can put them up in storage. And that's as far as the storage. Normally I would put them in a building, exposing the wax to sunlight. But for right now, I'm just sticking them in the honey house because I haven't built the racks to put them up yet. So I'll store them into the honey house. So I'm gonna grab the camera, show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, what I'm doing with the wax and all that good stuff. By the grace of God, in about another 2 hours, Dr. Billy's going to be here with me, and we've got, I think, about 60 boxes to do, and we'll clean all these things up and get them all stored up. Let's wrangle and clean up some honey boxes, huh? So here's our boxes that we still got to do. These boxes have been now sitting on the back porch for almost, well, it's better than 3 weeks. And like I told you about our humidity, so you can see the humidity is starting to grow mold on our boxes. So that's one of the reasons I want to bring them inside the honey hut, where I can condition the boxes and then get rid of all this mold in that way. So we have all these boxes to do, and they're just simply the frames that we spun our honey with. And what I want to do is I want to knock off some of the wax that's on there and collect that, and at the same time make sure that there's no cockroaches or any other thing that I'm going to be bringing inside of the honey house. We stack our boxes on little dollies, and on top of the dollies they have these metal trays, and the metal trays are set there so that I want to catch the cappings. And there you can see the cappings underneath the tray. I mean, on all of these trays it catches them, and I collect all this cappings because it's valuable. What I do is I've already done these boxes right here, and in fact those as well. So I've got 10 of them done already. I'm getting ready to do this one. And what I do is I just grab one of the boxes that needs to get done, and I bring it over here and I bounce it. And by bouncing it, it knocks all the loose wax off. Now I'm bouncing it on top of a tarp because I'm going to collect all this wax. I try not to waste any wax because it's just so valuable. So I bounce it a couple of times, and by bouncing it, if there are any roaches in there, and there usually are, they'll come out during the bouncing. So then once I do that, by that time it breaks all the propolis that's holding the frames in, and then I start lifting the frames out one at a time. And the reason I need to look one at a time, not only for the roaches or any other, like if there were wax moth larvae in there or anything else in there, I'd spot it right there because I don't want to bring anything inside of our hut. So once I'll go through the box and I just start putting them in our frames, and I just look. I mean, there's nothing on these things. It's really great to see how good of a job these bees do cleaning this stuff up and making my job so much easier. So we get all these frames into our new box. And then once I've got the 10 frames transferred, I'll take my Hive tool and clean up the box. Take the propolis that's been added to the frames, and I'll clean all this stuff up, making the next time I use the box just so much easier. And speaking of boxes, these are the boxes that were hot wax dipped, and these things are just so nice. These boxes are so nice. I'm sold on that process as opposed to painting. It really is a great process. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple more of these things, and I'll show you as we bring them inside the building. Well, here's all our boxes. Got the job done. Everything's in the honey house, and you can see where the mildew is growing on the outside of some of these. So I'm gonna keep them in here, let this stuff dry out, and then I can clean this stuff off really easy once everything gets dehumidified. One thing I want to show, we had over 600 frames. I think we had 62 boxes. That's 620 boxes. Out of those 620 boxes, these 5 boxes right here had brood that was laid in them, okay? But the brood had been laid in there, and then the bees had run the queen out, and all this was backfilled with honey. So all of this, these 50 frames, say that's about 50 frames, it was all honey, but there was brood had been laid in there before the honey was stored in there. The queen finished laying in there, the brood hatched out, and after they hatched out, the bees then backfilled all of that with honey. I don't like keeping these frames mixed with all the frames that are nothing but solid honey frames, because the moths will lay in this stuff, but they won't lay in this one. Or they're very hesitant to lay in. I'm not saying they won't, but it's not common to have them lay in just honey supers as opposed to brood supers. Where the queen has laid the eggs, that's what attracts the moths, and that's where the moths lay. So I don't want to keep these frames with these frames. So these frames, I'm going to stick these in the freezer, and then I'll actually put them outside. But like I said, the number of them, we had like 50 out of 600, so it's only like about 7% of our total harvest had brood that was laid in that 3rd box, okay? But it was backfilled. The brood hatched out and was backfilled. So we still were able to use this box. Now I did have probably 12 or 14 frames of active brood that when I pulled up the frames out, we found the brood, and then we went down into the 2nd box and swapped out frames, honey frames for brood frames. So we probably had, 2% of our total harvest had brood laid in it. And for me, that's the argument of why I don't use an excluder. The numbers just don't justify the use of an excluder for me. The aggravation of having an extra piece of equipment in the boxes to deal with, having the bees having to deal with that, to me is just not worth it. So we do not run excluders in our operation. That's all we got for you, this little short video. It's not really a lot to say on it, just other how I do the storage process of our bees cleaning it. Oh, I do want to show you one more thing. Now look at this. All this wax is what I collected from those bee boxes, and this is a lot of wax. It's probably 2 pounds of wax in here. Of course, there's a lot of dead animals and things like that in there, but still, this will render down, clean up really nice, and we'll get some nice wax out of this for our bees. So that's all I got for you in this video. So thanks for watching. Keep on watching. I'll be making more. God bless. Mr. Ed, I'm out of here until the next video. So I want y'all to come up really close. See that? Not real close. So what happens with an observation hive is that once the bees are in it, then you're able to watch the bees, monitor the bees, look at them really closely. So this hive right here is special in that it's not just a regular hive. So as I open it, y'all might be a little bit surprised.
Oh my God!